Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to show you the actual costs for $10,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 58-year-old male. Now, first thing I recommend is going to our website, and we've got these free quotes on just about every page. All you need to do is select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount. Put your birthday in there, rest of the info, click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that has the best insurance companies with the lowest pricing. And what that will allow you to do is avoid those plans out there that, like those ones on TV and magazines where they offer those super low rates. And then when you talk with them, it's for super low coverage. And then they try to upsell you to more meaningful coverage and it costs you a lot more money. We can help you prevent that. It will also prevent you from getting stuck with one of those plans that has a 2-year waiting period, that they're often 200% more expensive than a first day coverage plan. So you can also call us at 888-862-9456. One of our agents can help you get your pricing, kind of do anything else that you may need to give you the peace of mind of knowing that this is taken care of. So the first thing that a 58-year-old male should really ask themselves if they're looking at $10,000 worth of insurance is that going to be enough for my final expense needs? So that's typically going to be either a cremation or a burial. Now let's talk about cremation first. The average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's if you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. If you're going to have a ceremony with the cremation, it's going to be like a remembrance ceremony or celebration of life. That is typically going to be between $3,500 to $4,500. So as far as insurance recommendation for that cremation where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn, we would probably recommend $5,000 to $7,000. That's the average that people get. You might be going, well, you said it's $2,000, but you're recommending $5,000. Well, remember, you're 58 years old, and I bet you're hoping you can make it to 68 or maybe even 78 or possibly 88. And we know that pricing does go up over time due to inflation. So we like to build a little extra coverage into the plan just to make sure that you don't have to come back and add more coverage later. It's okay if you do have to come back and add more coverage later, but it typically works out fairly well with that coverage amount. And it just provides enough funds down the road to inflation-proof the plan, but also, God forbid something happens sooner than you thought, there's a little bit more money left on the front end, just in case there's some other final expenses or medical bills or kind of credit card bills or something like that, just to help kind of pay some of those off. Now, if you're going to have the cremation in a ceremony, we would typically recommend $7,000 to $10,000 for the same reason we recommended the $5,000 to $7,000. Now, if you are having a burial, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is around $10,000. But if you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States with a $10,000 check, chances are they're going to get it done for you. It's not going to be fancy, by the way, but they should get it done. It's hard to imagine they would say no to that and then, let you walk out the door with a $10,000 check, walk 2 blocks down the road to their competition and let them take it. Just understand, most places are going to work with you. It's not going to be very fancy. So as a rule, we would typically recommend $10,000 to $15,000 for a 58-year-old male. And if you needed a little bit more coverage, sometimes we'll see it going up to $20,000. But most people would be $10,000 to $15,000, and we can always add more coverage later. So just keep that in mind. Now, one thing we always recommend is first day coverage or benefits. Now, what that means is that if you were to get your policy approved and issued today and you passed away tomorrow, and the insurance company would pay out that coverage amount, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, whatever it is, they would pay it out from the first day. We do not recommend 2-year waiting period plans because they won't pay any health or medical related cause of death in the first 2 years. We'll talk about that in a little bit more here in a moment. But a lot of people would say, Randy, I like that first day coverage, but I hear they ask health questions and, just being honest, I'm not in the best of health. To which we say, hey, your health is our problem, not your problem, at least when it comes to this insurance. And the reason we say that is we work with a bunch of different insurance companies, and they all ask different health questions, and they all have different underwriting. And right now, we're getting about 90 to 95% of the time, we're getting people approved for first aid coverage or benefits. So we're very good at what we do. Really, the only reason we couldn't get you first aid coverage is if you had a really significant severe health issue, like you had a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or you're in a hospital or in a nursing home, something like that. If that were the case, we would typically refer you out to a different insurance company. One thing that seems to happen every week to us is somebody will call up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week and they didn't have any insurance and we don't have any money. And, you know, their body's down at the funeral home and the funeral home director's not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick so that we can get a check in our hand to get the funeral home director paid. And we have to let them know there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to issue and approve a policy on a dead person. Yeah, you have to have this coverage before you die. And it is just, it's really tragic that, you know, this person died and they didn't have anything in place. They knew they were going to die someday. They probably were going to get this insurance someday. And then someday just beat them to the punchline and, you know, now they're dead. And what's horrible about that is their family members are going to be the ones that have to pay for that. And typically that ends up getting put on a credit card, you know, at about 29% interest. And typically families are ending up paying on that for years and years and years. And what a terrible legacy to leave behind. What a terrible last final memory that everybody, when they think about you, they think that you didn't take care of this and how they got stuck with the bills and probably how they're still paying for those. So don't be that person. This insurance is affordable. Just get this insurance. If you can't get everything you want, get what you can afford right away. And we can always help you add more coverage later. Now, the one thing we don't recommend, like we talked about, is the plans with the 2-year waiting periods. Now, Colonial Penn, they're probably a fairly well-known company. I think it's just because they advertise a lot. It seems like they got their $9.95 commercials on TV like every 7 minutes, or at least it seems that way. But yeah, their $9.95 plan with Colonial Penn is a 2-year waiting period policy. Ouch. Yeah, you probably didn't know that. It's not going to pay out any death benefit at all in the first 2 years if you die of a health or medical reason. So there's other companies out there that offer the same type of policy. Mutual of Omaha, they've got their United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber, just to name a few. There's a host of other ones out there too. But some of these companies have done an amazing job at convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you're going to qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we say, ha, 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 ha. Don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first aid coverage all day long. Yeah, don't be a sucker. Yeah, don't believe that garbage. Yikes. Now, our 58-year-old male here, probably thinking he's in pretty good shape at age 58, not too old, sees that $9.95 commercial, probably thinking, you know what? I'm probably going to get 20,000, 30,000, maybe 40,000. You know what? I can probably even get $50,000 for $9.95. And then he talks with the Colonial Penn agent or looks it up on their website, like we've done here, finds out the 1 unit of coverage, which is $9.95, is only going to pay out $1,258. You know, I'm not sure. You know, there's a lot of parts of the country where that won't pay for a cremation. And where that will pay for a cremation, you got to remember, this plan has a 2-year waiting period, and it's not going to pay out in 2 years for any health or medical related cause of death. And it's going to be worth less than 2 years due to inflation. So why would you get a policy that's kind of going to put you in the hole right away? Now, a lot of people would say that some of these companies that offer these teaser rates, these really low rates, they do that just to get you in their system. And they know that you're not going to want that low amount of coverage. So what they'll do is they'll just advertise it. And then when they get you on the phone, they'll try to upsell you to a more meaningful amount of coverage. And we would never say that Colonial Penn would do that. But some people say that. And I guess you'd probably want to formulate your own opinion about that. But let's take a look, because we're trying to get $10,000 worth of insurance. I'm guessing 10,000, oh boy, They go up to 15 units here, but I'm guessing like we're about 8 units if I'm right. There we go. There we go. Boy, I did pretty good there. So yeah, you can't as an age 58-year-old male, you cannot get $10,000 even with Colonial Penn. They've got their per unit pricing so that they can advertise that $9.95 per unit. And yeah, so you're going to end up with a wackadoodle number like $10,064. And that $64 must be good for something. I guess maybe, I don't know, water for the plants or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Roughly $10,000, and it's around $80, $79.60. We're going to round it up to 80. Let's go see what $10,000 worth of coverage would be with first day coverage. And I bet we can save you some money. Here we go. 10,000 male, age 58. Here we go. Hold on to your seats. We're going to go back and look at this. So 10,000 for 80. We can get 10,000 for $37.69. I'm going to show you that again. 10,000 right there for 37. Oochie. 37.69. Now, when you look at that, look at that. I mean, Colonial Penn is like over 200% higher. Over 200% higher. And you've got a 2-year waiting period. And Colonial Penn will force you to overpay. It will force you to overpay roughly $40 a month for the rest of your life. So if you think about that, that's $40 a month. That's times 12 months. That's $480 a year. And if our 58-year-old lives to age 68, you will have overpaid right around $4,800. And $4,800, yeah. And if it were 20 years, you'd overpay $9,600 on a $10,000 policy. But yeah, $4,000, almost $5,000 after 10 years. Why would you do that when you can get $37.69 level, which means first day coverage? You can save so much money and have a better policy. Let's look at some other companies here, though. You'll be able to see all these different insurance companies when you use our quoter. But let's keep going here. Oh, like here's one, like Lincoln Heritage. They're a fine company, I guess. But look at that rate. Woo. They are definitely more expensive. It is level coverage, though. But yeah, it's more expensive. And the reason they're more expensive is they've got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2 or 3 different insurance or funeral homes to get the lowest pricing. They may do a couple other things too, but they don't do that for free. They build it into the pricing. So that's like $56. So let's go compare that. 56 versus 37. So that's just roundabout math. Say that's $20 a month. I'm just rounding numbers here, but $20 a month, that would be an extra $240 a year. After 10 years, that'd be $2,400. So it's probably going to be around $2,200 to $2,400 more. So, you got to ask yourself, is it worth paying a company like $2,200 more, roughly, to call 2 or 3 funeral homes and maybe do a couple other things that only maybe takes an hour or so? A lot of people would say that's a pretty good payday for them, and I guess we would tend to agree. And we don't recommend it. We recommend you get the lower price in coverage, and then what we do at Funeral Funds of America is we offer a free funeral and estate planning guide. And you download that off our website, and then you can just print it out. And then just once it's printed out, you complete it. Who gets what goes where, and what you want done after you're gone. And then you keep it with your insurance policy. And then when you pass away, your family is not only protected financially with the insurance policy, but emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide, because you will have laid everything out for them in advance. And all they will have to do is just execute your wishes. And you will have provided them such a blessing. They will have such peace of mind knowing that they're doing everything exactly as you wanted, and you even provided the money to do it. And what a wonderful legacy to leave behind. And they're going to know that you not only loved them in life and protected them in life, but you also protected them in death at a time when you were no longer going to be here, when they were going to need you the most, and you took care of them. So what a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So go to funeralfunds.com. We've got a special quoter for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube, and you can get the lowest pricing and the most discounts on that page. You can call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456. One of our agents can help you understand your options and pricing. But whether you've got an existing policy and you want to price check it to make sure you have the lowest pricing, or you want to add coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you're looking for a brand new policy, or you just want some help understanding what your options are, you have some questions, we can also help you out with that. But we look forward to the day when we will be able to get you the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. We are looking forward to helping you with that. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.